Hey guys, welcome to the Frack and Friends Show. This is actually going to be a spinoff of the former show that I was a part of called the Frick and Frack Show. It's going to basically be same things, but also some things done differently. Of course, there's going to be some cool things happening for the show, some amazing guests. And my very first announcement is we're going to bring on this lady right here named Miss Leah.
Hey.
She is going to be one of the recurring co-hosts of mine, which I have quite a bit of them. I have a lot of guest co-hosts as well coming, and there's a lot going on. We're going to be making some big announcements soon, but hi, Leah.
Hello.
How's it going?
Good. How are you doing?
Doing good, doing good. It's been a crazy week, but the week is almost done, so I'm very excited about that.
Me too.
What's going on this weekend?
I have my daughter's third birthday party. We're doing Frozen, so that'll be exciting.
Ooh.
I'm always a big one to get into the decorating and birthday celebrations. So
Are you
it'll
going
be
to be
fun.
dressing up like Elsa?
I will not be dressing up like Elsa, although I did contemplate wearing one of the wigs. I will have a Frozen T-shirt on, so that's the extent of my birthday costuming. But yeah, we kind of went all out on the decorations, so it'll be a good time.
Nothing wrong with that whatsoever. Frozen, for those who have not been on this earth, has been a huge phenomenon. I hear something recently has beaten it called Encanto, but Frozen was the groundbreaking movie for Disney. Like it really revolutionized and changed a lot of things. Just like what 6 years ago, 8 years ago.
Yeah. I don't even know. It's been. I mean, they've had Frozen, Frozen 2,
Frozen sing along.
Yeah, we're finally getting into the Frozen era of things. But
It's never too late to start.
Right, yeah, when it first came out, I didn't watch it, but now I'm kind of sucked in, and I don't mind. It's a good movie.
I've only seen about the first 25 minutes of it, and that was about it. I mean, eventually I will get to it, but of course, I'm a huge movie freak, and one of my favorite things to talk about is movies and television, and so that means I have a lot to watch. That means I have a lot to catch up on. So Frozen is it's not the top of my list. It's not. It's more like second to last.
Yeah.
But I do love musicals. I'm a huge Broadway and theater fanatic, and in fact, I even thought about auditioning last Sunday and Monday for the musical Rent, which is my favorite show, one of my favorite musicals of all time, and but then they told me I'd have to curse and I have to stick to the script. And I said, I I have morals and I have beliefs, and I'd rather not, do that. So I will be singing Rent from my house this weekend, and doing some karaoke and changing the words. And
you make sure to record that then.
Oh, I will. Oh my goodness! And what's great about it is I love doing all the parts. So every time someone's different singing, I change my whole persona, my voice, and and so I'm a bit sad because I feel very confident that I could have gotten, I could have performed, and they would have said, "All right, just choose your role."
Yeah. Well, I don't know, but you on this podcast, you have a bunch of people coming up based on vintage movies and stuff. So
I do. Yeah. Well, we do. It's man. That's another thing we can kind of go into. We won't tell people names yet. I don't. I like to release a little early, but not too early. But we have quite a bit of people coming to the show. Already booked. Many of them have dates, and the ones who don't will have them soon within the next few days because we are working on a theme song and a music video. We're putting this show into full was it first gear? No, maybe it's like fourth gear. I don't know. I don't have a manual car, so I don't really know anything about that. But we are shifting to turbo. Oh, that was really good. I'm sorry, man. The puns are back, people. The puns are back. Which leads us to the next point is this weekend I will actually be going somewhere really really fun, and let's see if we can go ahead and pull that up. So I will be going to STCC. And for those who don't know what that is, it is St. Tammany Collectors Con. It's the largest event of its kind on the North Shore, which is going to be in Mandeville, Louisiana. We actually have a guest that was on the original Frick and Frack show named Catherine Sutherland. Those who may know her from Power Rangers Turbo and Power Rangers Zeo and Power Rangers in general. It is on April 9th, and there's a lot going on to this. It's really cool, guys. So it's $8 pre-order for tickets for admission, and then it's $10 at the door. There's a VIP all access that includes like 30 minutes early entry, snacks. I mean, all kind of different things. For only $25 for adults, and children 12 and under are free. We also have Mr. John Morton from Star Wars, who was also in one of the most famous scenes with Boba Fett and Darth Vader. Different, we have some really, really cool people going. We got Robbie Musso. We have all these different artists, and we have this John Anderson, who's an actor who's been in so many different movies as well. And so I'll be there this weekend and definitely representing the show. And I'm really excited. I'm very, very excited about this event. The people who are in charge of it, I'll say, are very, very nice, very, very, just very communicative, and just it's something I'm very excited about, because I think I'm really excited about meeting Catherine, like in person. She's become a friend, and it's just when you get to meet people and hear it's an amazing opportunity, and it's amazing. But when you have the opportunity to meet them in person, it's like, whoa.
And are you going? Are you having a booth? Or are you just going as your own personal?
So I think I'm just going to go as media and not a booth, because I do want to order our logos and everything to kind of hang up and everything at booths. Which there's a couple more events that are coming up soon that I will have a booth. But for this one, I'm just going to go as media and kind of help cover the event, and anything I can do for assistance with the STCC people, I'll happily do so. So it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. It's 2 hours away. It's a little drive, but it's I just love doing this.
Sounds like a good event.
Yeah. But yeah, so that's what's going on with me this weekend.
Well, it's a little different than a Frozen birthday, but
yeah, I'm sure I'll see an Elsa there, though. Maybe an Anna.
Yeah, probably.
I don't know, the snowman with the carrot. I don't even know.
Olaf.
Olaf, yeah.
Yes.
I don't know their names, but like, so I guess the next point let's talk about is like this show, like, where is it going? What's happening? For those who are just tuning in, and also we've never talked about it before, but the show is it's taking a right in a lot of ways, and we're just going to go ahead and continue what myself and my late co-host had kind of started with. It's all about the fans. It's all about the stories. We're not just going to have celebrities on the show. We're going to have people. We're going to have different individuals who are just fans of this band and that band. We're going to be talking about so many different topics with music, movies, nostalgia, pop culture. And yeah, it's going to be, I say taking a right, but like, I don't know if that's the correct term or right term, but I would say it's going to even go further, to infinity and beyond.
Yes, for sure. Yeah, no, I mean, like, definitely, I want to touch on a lot of the trends because
Mm,
that's my strong part is 90s trends, and that's kind of where I come in. I mean, I know you've got like the whole pop culture thing down, and I could probably ask you
yeah.
anything, and you would be able to answer. But
You
yeah,
know, I still learn things new every day about pop culture. I still learn about things and bands that I, I kind of forgot. I kind of kind of lost about. Like someone had reached out the other day and said, "Can you get members from Five, the band Five?" And I was like, "Do you know how long it's been since I've heard anyone talk about Five?" Like, so there are still things that stump me personally. I feel like every day I'm learning things, and it's crazy when someone says something like that. All the memories come flooding back.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, like, it's definitely going to have a lot of content like with Backstreet Boys,
Yeah.
NSYNC, New Kids on the Block, but it's also going to touch on, the things that spark that memory, like Jump
Mm,
5 and
yeah.
5, and like all the bands that you forgot about but you really didn't. Like, the memories are there. You just need to bring them out.
Just got to use that key and unlock them, because
Yeah.
when it comes down to memories, oh my goodness, like the 90s and early and mid 2000s, like I think I remember more about the 90s and early 2000s than I do mid 2000s. Like the mid 2000s for me was probably like the T-Pain era, which is like one of the worst eras that ever happened in history. you
Yeah.
know, because it took about 10 plus years for people to stop using auto tune on every single song incorrectly. But other than that, in that mid 2000s era, I don't really remember much. I was watching an interview with Lil Wayne last night, and every now and then I brush up and I touch up on my Lil Wayne knowledge. And he's originally from about an hour away from here, and just listening to him and seeing him, like I haven't listened to his music in years, but man, the dude is just thriving after all these years and years of doing his thing. And I remember, like, he was talking about this time, and I think you remember this as well, the time where we burnt CDs. Like, it was the most craziest thing with one of his original biggest albums. um, he had gave it out on burnt CDs back in the day, before it hit, before there was Spotify, before there was all this craziness, and all this, um, you know, these things to have easier communication and being able to display your content. Like, he was just out in the street in malls giving his CDs away.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah, those
crazy.
were those were like the LimeWire days, and like
Mm,
burning all
gotta
the
blurt that one
crazy.
out. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
Yeah, LimeWire,
Um
man. Kaza.
yeah. I look back, like I have a bunch of my CDs. Like, my friends would make me CDs, all the stuff that
Wow.
we'd listen to at our middle school dances. And yeah,
Wow.
it just brings back memories. Like, I'm gonna have to bring some of those CDs out too. Like,
Yeah.
we'll play some of them for the show, because I mean, I forget about some of the songs that are on there. I'm sure. Like, I know there's things on there that just when it comes on, I'll be like, oh yes, this is the
Yeah.
song. Like,
And that's the thing
yeah.
about it, because like there's people, like I remember burning a lot of CDs when I was younger. Like I mean, so much illegal activity with doing that. But like I just remember as a kid, like especially with Kaza, before that, I think
Oh
before
yeah.
LimeWire there was Kaza. I think,
Yeah, I remember that.
and Kaza was where I burnt all my movies, burnt my DVDs, and like I just remember like burning Alanis Morissette's debut. I think it was her debut album, and like it was the craziest like, and I was a kid then. I was really a young kid, but it was the craziest album. Like even as a kid, I recognized its greatness, and then
Mhm.
20 plus years later, I'm still listening to that. Except for
Yeah.
now, I do it legally.
Yeah, I mean back then I don't think, I mean, we didn't really know like why is this illegal? Like
Did we?
I like, well, I don't know. I didn't. Like I'm like, I
Yeah,
like this music. Like I'm just
yeah.
gonna grab this song. Like I'll sit here all day if it takes that long to burn this CD.
Oh,
But
yeah. Dial up, DSL.
yeah.
Uh,
Yeah. So that, I mean, that's, it's just something fun that this podcast will dive into, is just the stuff
yeah.
that you forget about, but you don't
Mhm.
really forget about. Like it's there. You just need to kind of pull it back out, and when it comes out, it's so exciting. Like
Yeah.
you're back in middle school, you're back in high school, and you remember all the memories that surround everything. I mean, that's what it is for like
Mhm.
all the trends for me. Like it's not about like, do I look good? I mean, partially, but at the same time, it's it's like, I don't know, just that throwback to the 90s and the 2000s when it was just simpler.
It was simpler. It was fun. And so, if you don't mind me asking, how old were you in the 90s? Were you a child or were you in like 10?
I was born in 89, so like I
Okay.
just barely
Okay.
like, I mean, I,
Ooh, you remember more
yeah.
than me then, because I was born in 92, and my memories didn't start collecting until about 96. I just remember for some reason, 96, 97, like I just remember hearing like Backstreet Boys and stuff. And it was the craziest thing because that is definitely one of my first memories, besides Barney.
Yeah.
Really and seriously, like I just remember like hearing them on the radio or hearing them somewhere. And I don't know. I think someone made me like a cassette tape with like songs. I'm pretty sure that's where I heard it the first time. And I heard it might have been like, oh man, I'm pretty sure it was "Quit Playing Games with My Heart." I'm pretty
That,
sure
yeah. Yeah,
that
I
was
bet
the
you that was
first
the
song
first
I
one that
heard.
I heard too. Yeah.
I mean, and I was like, oh, Boys to Men or something like at that time, like, and I know a lot of people at that time because there wasn't faces to much of anything when you had these people who made mixtapes or when you had like tapes like that.
Hmm.
So like many people didn't know these were five white guys,
Yeah.
and still like you listen to even like let's throw it back, let's throw it to DNA. You listen to DNA, and it's like whoa.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that "Quit Playing Games with My Heart" was the one of the first ones that I heard too, and just kind of stuck. And then you're hooked. And then what
Yeah,
do you do?
I mean,
I mean,
I didn't even know like it was Nick. At the first, whenever Nick does his part for quit playing games with my heart, I didn't know it was a boy. It was a guy. But this is me as a kid. A kid's
yeah.
perception. I'm like, oh, that girl sounds pretty good.
And you probably didn't care. I mean, like at that
No.
point, it's like, this song is the greatest song ever. I'm just gonna
Yep.
listen to it. Like, yeah, I can clearly remember that song. Like we were
Mm.
outside at my friend's house, and it was like this outdoor like patio thing that was enclosed, and like I can remember there was a stereo there, and somebody had put in a CD, or maybe it was the
Wow.
radio, I don't know. But yeah, it's those fun little moments that you can remember, and what you were doing at that time. Like that's what makes it so great going to the concerts nowadays. It's not about like
Yeah.
me being there listening to music. It's
Nope.
about what it's bringing out. Like you remember so many things, and you forget so many things. Like I mean, so many of us have kids nowadays, and it's not that we want to forget our kids, but it's that
Yeah.
we want to escape. These last few years have been so hard with parenting, and
Yeah.
even if you don't have kids, with COVID, it's been a tough few years. So the escape is what we're all there for, I think.
Yeah. And I mean, music and movies have always been an escape for anything when it comes to me personally. As a child, as a teenager, as a grown man, music and movies is what gets me like just going when it comes down to just going through some things. It's like, I'm able to, I can't turn on anything new. Movies I can, but like music wise, it's not the new stuff just doesn't work for me. And maybe it's because I'm getting older. Maybe it's because I realize there's a lot of talentless people on the radio today, but like the 90s, 80s, 70s, 60s, 50s, 30s, 20s is, you know, what really helps me through a lot of things. And I can definitely recognize and give recognition to the Backstreet Boys, because they, man, boy, every situation, you know, and pretty much any boy bands, but with Backstreet Boys, I just remember going to, like, even in my early 20s, and before, a little before that, I went through some hard things in my life. And I just remember, like, always just going to Spotify and hitting shuffle Backstreet Boys every single song for, you know, a 2 hour bike ride every
Yeah.
single day. And, you know, you know, it's so weird how, like, music can get you through some of the hardest things in your life, you know?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and I think I mean, that's kind of like the revival now too, is that, you know, we've all been stuck inside for, I mean, now we've been out for a good amount of time, but you know,
Yeah.
for a while we were all stuck inside, and that's just what we went to. And I think all these bands are coming out now, like with full force, and everybody wants to be at them. They're selling out. It's crazy because
Mhm.
we're all realizing, you know, what we're missing and what music can do for us. And it's great. I mean, I've met so many great people at the concerts in the last few months, and
Definitely.
I've met you just through music in the
Yeah.
'90s, and connecting with people is just it really does. It gives you that connection with others that I think a lot of things don't give you. So
I mean, especially like when you go to, like, for me personally, it was O Town Houston show just last August. And I remember, like, the connections I made there, like, you know, even people I speak to every day now, it was unreal, unreal in so many different ways. And to be able to form these connections, form friendships, just because you like the same people, or just because, like, you were there and they're like, oh, you're a guy at a boy band concert, let's talk, you know.
yeah,
Let's be friends forever. It's 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 amazing, you know. It's amazing what the
it
connection
is.
and what music does to people, and how it really, you know, I think it was John Lennon who said, like, music is what brings people together in this world. And at least that was his vision, I know, of, like, just wanting, of what he wanted his music to be. And what he, you know, I think it was, you know, even Bob Marley is another individual, someone I respect so much, because, you know, and you could read all the quotes he ever said about music. You can read all the quotes about that. And it's just, you know, his goal was, he wanted music to bring everyone together. And truthfully, it did.
It did.
It
Yes.
did. And it does. You know, Bob Marley, you know, has been gone from the world for many years. But, like, his music, you know, same thing with the Beatles, same thing, you know, with all these individuals who had, many who had passed, you know, their music 30, 40, 50 years later, you know, 75 years later, is still bringing people together.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy, but I mean, you know, the Backstreet Boys are right up there
They are.
with the Beatles. I mean, it's
I do agree with that. You know, because first of all, when you tell someone, name five of your favorite Backstreet Boys songs, more than likely, all five, I would say, would probably, or, you know, would probably be the same. Like, because everyone knows As Long As You Love Me, everyone knows Backstreet's Back, Larger Than Life, and All I Have to Give. You know, it's all Millennium. You know, it's pretty much all Millennium. But then, of course, you know, you tell someone, name a song from Black and Blue, someone's gonna be able to name at least one, or three,
yeah.
or five, or all, or, you know, all 11 tracks. It's, you know, Backstreet Boys in general, you know, just specifically Backstreet Boys, it's a unbelievable phenomenon that happened with them. And, you know, 30, I think it's the 29th year. I think 29, it might be 30. I don't know. COVID kind of has me off of my dates, but
Yeah.
it should be 30. And if it isn't, it's okay. But let's just say 30 years of continuing this thing, that they started, still selling out arenas, still selling, still. And you and I have both seen DNA. And so DNA was like one of the biggest shows I've ever been to in my life. Like it was, I thought Vegas was really, really big stage wise and such as well. But when I went to DNA and saw the production, it was insane in so many ways. Now, I didn't get to see NSYNC. I didn't have, I would say, the honor and privilege, because anyone who has seen NSYNC, I just feel so sad because I didn't. But like NSYNC, even, so many different people have paved the way for us as kids, as teenagers, as grown adults. And it's people like that, that we want to talk about. And, even if we bring on someone that's not from the 90s or 2000s necessarily, let's just say we bring on Bon Jovi. Sure, Bon Jovi's about the 80s and such, but in the 90s and 2000s and late 2000s to now, he is still a huge influence to me, and was still, as a child, someone I listened to nonstop, so it's this show is going to be awesome. It's really, really exciting just to be on this journey with you, and many others. It's going to be it's not going to be a big production show. It's not going to be DNA, but it's going to be just
the second run of DNA.
Yeah, we'll just say that, but people have asked about the background and the name, the Frack and Friends Show. I am Frack, and this is my friend Leah. Or maybe it's this way. I don't know what side you're looking at me on, but like in the background and the actual logo is inspired by Barney and Friends, and which was a huge part of my life, and in some ways continues to still be, because like, growing up, that was a huge thing in our household. And, Barney, even today, is still, I don't know if it's still airing today. I don't know. But
I don't think it is, but yesterday, as we're recording this, yesterday was the 30th year anniversary.
Wow.
They have like this huge celebration going on. So it's a very big thing for this year. And I know they're having a lot of stuff going on with like the Barney and Friends and
wow. Happy
the
birthday,
voice of
Barney.
Yes.
Is that
we should have had a birthday cake.
We really should have. I mean, I don't have anything of Barney on this thing, but like
I just got a Barney today when I was out thrifting. I literally just got a Barney plush today. I should have brought it. I don't have it in here. Yeah, it's Barney is huge in my shop. Everyone loves Barney, but maybe we'll do a Barney celebration one of these days. Strictly
Most
Barney.
Definitely. We'll talk to the real purple dinosaur. They kind of went towards purple pinkish, but in my era, in my day, it was the real dark purple.
Yes.
Like scary kind of dark purple looking at it now. But like, wow, 30 years of Barney.
Yeah.
Older than me.
Hey, now I'm not that old.
It's just crazy though, like 30 years of, it's crazy that it still isn't airing, but I guess they aired, I'm sure 20 plus years. And
my kids still watch the old Barney. Like we turn on, we have a VHS and we have like a VHS player. So we'll put on the Barney tapes and the I don't know what the actual title is called, but it's like this castle one where they pretend they're in a castle. And that was my favorite growing up. I don't know if you remember that, but we still have that one. So we play that one.
So I do. And, originally, like with the name of the show, I contemplated on the Frack and the Backyard Gang, because like, it just seemed so like fitting. And then I had seen, like, I was watching Barney on YouTube, and I had seen Barney and Friends come up whenever the intro video was coming up with Lucy and Derek and, and Barney. But like, and then I was like, wait a minute, the Frack and Friends Show has a really nice ring to it. It's appealing. Everyone knows Frack from the Frick and Frack Show. So let's go ahead and just name it this. And then we had our girl Casey do the logos, and did an incredible job, and I'm very, very proud of those things. Because the second she sent it to me the other day, I said, I didn't even get to tell you what I wanted, but this is everything that I wanted, envisioned, and because I was expecting to go see her the next day, and just to tell her, okay, like here's the vision of it. And I did tell her, Barney and the Backyard Gang. That's all I told her. Like Barney and Friends. That's the kind of idea behind it. So she pulled through. She did an incredible job, and we're super thankful.
It's great.
But I'm still debating on if this guy right here is me, because like, okay, is it? Do you see the glasses on him? Like,
I can see it.
Like, do you see the cut? Look.
Yeah, there he is.
I mean,
that's you. Although I don't have my wavy hair tonight, but I could be the middle lady.
You could be if you had wavy hair.
Well, I'll just have to have wavy hair every time I'm on here.
There you go. I mean, but like, I don't know. It just seemed like he's wearing a jacket. It looks like, and I'm like, huh.
Well,
at first, I don't know. I'm confused.
I like it because they're like, I don't know, like they're like businessy, but yet like that all the business people, like once they get off the clock, then it's nostalgia time. Then it's what are they gonna listen to their favorite music, favorite movie, that may be your day job, but then what are you gonna do in the evening?
The idea I had first when I saw it was, wow, it's us, Barney and the gang, and Barney and Friends grown up.
Yes, it is.
Like instead of kids being there, instead of kids being right there, it's us as grown-ups.
And the guy checking his phone too, like that's totally like our generation. Yeah,
it's crazy. So I mean, Casey did a great job, and we're very excited to do this, and it's gonna be nonstop. It really is, and I'm very much looking forward to. I'm very much looking forward to connecting to the fans, and just being able to do events and do things, and it's definitely going to be real fun.
Yes, lots of 90s movies and bands and actors, and just shout out for the shirt "Save the Boy Bands."
What's that about?
Well, originally I saw it on Eric from O-Town had it on in one of his Instagram posts, and so I had to find out where this shirt was from, but it's from the Prom King collection on Etsy, and he's a great guy and just amazing. Like, and of course this shirt just says it all. Like,
yep.
I mean,
which boy bands and boy bands in general, there was a time in the early 2000s where they were being told we won't play you anymore. It's the craziest thing ever. But like, boy bands for me have never, even the ones who did say, okay, we're done, they have never like departed. They have never like, went away. But I know for the world and a good majority bit, because at the time in 2003, 2004, that was really where they were like, we're not playing any more boy band poppy pop songs. We're transitioning to another era. And every few years it's like that. If you ever listen to the radio, and then 3-4 years later, it's a whole nother sound.
Yeah.
And that's what they did. They transitioned from one thing to the next. But boy bands in general, for me, is and was such a huge part of my life, and I think that's the greatest shirt ever.
It's my favorite. Like, I mean, anyone that knows me knows that I still love the boy bands. Like, you just can't not love them. I mean, like you said, they were a huge part of my life. I don't really have anything else to say, because they were just there. I mean, they were there for the whole chunk of my childhood, and
for the pain, the best and worst,
Yes.
Many
and I just think
promised.
of like, I think of O-Town's like, just some of their like dramatic songs, like
Yeah.
being at my middle school dances and like how much pain I was in because somebody wouldn't dance with me at a middle school dance. And like now it just makes me laugh now, but like
Yeah.
it's still like remembering those times is still like the best. I mean,
And that's
even
what
the
you have to
silly
do.
ones.
You know,
Yeah.
I hope I can always remember these moments. And, you know, I had said this beforehand, but I don't think we released it. But like, you know, when Andy Bernard is talking about, you know, wishing that he knew he was in the best of times before they were gone, you know, that's one thing. Like as kids and as young adults, even now as adults, I do wish that I had taken moments, and I'm starting to. I'm really in the last few years. I am starting to kind of appreciate the moments that I'm in, whether it's good or bad, because you know, in five years from now, those will, you know, those good and bad times will be some of the best moments of my life.
Yeah.
And I really do wish that I kind of, you know, as a kid, but like I don't know, like time just flew by. You know,
It
time just
does.
flew so
Yeah.
fast. And
It's
you know,
crazy.
you had millennium and that was a skyrocketing thing. Then you had black and blue, another skyrocketing thing. And then you had never was it incomplete or never gone. I mean, I don't know, like time just flew by. And now, you know, just like all these different people, like, you know, there was one or two albums as kids and now they're on their 10th album, 20th album.
Yeah. Well, even like, I mean, like the Ryan Cabrera years to me, like I
Mm,
loved Ryan and
yeah.
he's getting married, I think, this weekend. So shout out to him and his
Shout out to Mr. Ryan Cabrera.
wedding and Alexa. And it's just crazy because that does not seem that long ago. Like
No.
it doesn't.
It's
It's
hard to
crazy,
phase and
but
and even accept that because I'm looking at this picture right now and you guys can't see it, but it's a picture of me and one of my dearest friends who passed away from a brain aneurysm, and that was 2009 when we took this picture. And I'm looking at that and saying, "There's no way it's been all this time since he's been gone. Since the moment we took that picture, there's no way he could be gone for that long." You know, because he died shortly after. So, I mean, wow, like
yeah.
you know, like we hear it all the time, but where does time really go to for me to accept, you know, that even, you know, Vicky and myself, you know, Vicky and I have been dating for over 6 years. Where does time go? 6 years, and I can't recall, you know, six
Yeah.
years.
Yeah, time flies by, and that's why I mean this podcast will be great for anyone who's listening to just remember all the great
Mm,
years and keep remembering it. I mean, tomorrow isn't promised, so you just have to live for
definitely.
today and um, have fun with it.
Yeah, yeah, and go to concerts. Go
Yes, for sure.
which, you know, by the way, that's another thing I want to ask you about is what are some concerts that you actually have coming up?
So in May, I have New Kids on the Block.
Oh
Um,
man.
yeah, that one's going to be
That's
really good. We got the Party Pit, so that'll be
first time?
exciting. Yes, first time.
Oh
They're kind
man.
of like borderline, like between my mom and my era. So she said like she was busy chasing a toddler during those years, me.
Oh
So she
wow.
doesn't really remember a whole lot of it, but I know that I have her, I don't know if it was her original t-shirt or if she got it like when she was thrifting when she was younger, but I have that I plan on wearing to the concert. So of course I'm going to post pictures of that.
Wow.
I've got a really cool like windbreaker hat that says New Kids on the Block. So I'll be all decked out. So I'll post that for the page.
For
And
sure. For
then
sure.
I know you have Backstreet Boys like almost the same day that I'm going to New Kids,
Yeah.
I think.
It's so crazy because I'll be seeing New Kids, but I think it's like May 18th in New Orleans. Um, and so, like, you know, I'm also going to see Simple Plan 2 days after that, I believe.
I'm jealous.
I'm jealous too because I've only waited my entire life to see them.
I've never seen them.
And it's like
Oh, I
them and
love them.
some 41
Yes, I love
together.
them too.
Like,
Yeah.
my only wish was if they added Good Charlotte.
Oh my gosh,
because
that would be
that
the
would have been.
trifecta.
I really thought it was going to happen because they had canceled the original tour because of COVID. And I said, oh, watch them do Good Charlotte and Simple Plan one date.
Yeah.
But it didn't happen. And I'm excited about Sum 41. Big fans of those guys. And then I'm going to see like Brian Wilson again, who's from the Beach Boys. I need to actually write these things down because I don't know. I know like I started doing it today, but there's gonna be a lot of concerts and a lot of, I'm looking at going to see O Town in July. I'd like to see them and Brad from LFO again. So the nearest one is like Dallas, which is, not too far. It's really not far, but I'm
Well,
going
you
to be
should
doing
fly to
that.
the Chicago one because that's the one that
I
I'm going
know
to.
Chicago,
That's August.
You know how many times I've been on a bus when I used to travel as a younger guy, but like I used to love going just traveling United States, and you know how many times I've booked a bus for Chicago, and I've always gotten off like somewhere else and stayed there. I need to.
Well, if it's for LFO and O Town, I mean,
yeah,
you just have to.
Gotta suck it up.
Maybe
and
they'll
go.
have a cheap flight. Like they have those super cheap flights sometimes, so you'll just have to keep an eye out for one of those.
Yeah, we definitely make that happen.
That's my August, but then July, I finally thank you for the Backstreet Boys pre-sale code because I finally got my Backstreet Boys tickets.
She
today.
said she wasn't gonna pay for platinum seats, folks.
I wasn't gonna pay $600.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
Isn't that insane? Yeah. And sadly, like I told you, people do pay for that, not knowing that that's not actually the real tickets. And for the pre-sales, they just sell the platinum seats for about 10 times higher than normal. And, it's kind of sad because many people get taken advantage by that. But, is it tomorrow when the general sale goes on? Or okay, so tomorrow you guys will see a whole different other kind of ball game in there, and with cheaper tickets, which is really exciting.
yeah and I mean DNA is one of the best concerts. I mean, I haven't been to a whole bunch of concerts, but from the ones that I have been, I would say DNA is my top. I mean, they just put on such a great show, and
it's hard to beat 32 songs in one night from the Backstreet Boys.
Well, and they play the old stuff, but they also play the good new stuff. So you can't go wrong with that. Like you won't regret spending whatever you spend on it for the Backstreet Boys.
Definitely.
Yeah. Other than that, I don't know. I haven't booked many other concerts, but anything that comes up, I'm in. Like somebody wants to message me and go to a concert, I'm in.
That's how I feel. Which usually because I live close to New Orleans, I live like an hour and 30 minutes from there. So usually my concerts are in New Orleans, but I did travel all the way to Houston to go see Jonas Brothers and O Town and LFO for my very first O Town LFO show. Period. So I mean, I went and saw some great people in the Woodlands, which is north of Houston, and it was incredible. But it's crazy. We're gonna definitely have a pretty hefty and full schedule, and I'm looking forward to actually being able to see people and be able to communicate with people again the way we used to. And especially when it comes down to Backstreet Boys DNA, I'll be attending the Woodlands date and maybe like 2 other ones. I haven't decided where yet, but still working on that. But I am working on attending that one, and I'm just super excited about it. I've seen DNA twice, DNA Circle and row 10 or row 13 on the floor. And I agree with you. It's one incredible show. It's almost unlike anything I've seen. And I've been to about, 150 plus concerts, especially when me and Vicky first got together for the first few years. We were going like twice a week to see artists, and sometimes 3 times. Oh, yeah, well, this one's playing Tuesday, then this one Thursday, and then this one Saturday. We'd go 3 times a week, And I've seen some of the greatest. I've seen some of the best, some of the absolute worst. but DNA has really been up there for me because it's hard to do 32 songs it's hard to justify anything better than getting 32 songs, the Backstreet Boys, and being with many others who share their love. And I'm going to say, I won't say affection, but obsession. you know?
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, that's what this podcast is going to be about, is just sharing that love of the 90s and 2000s and meeting other people that also care about that too. Because a lot of times other people just, they don't understand. I don't know what their reasons are for wanting to get older and growing up out of that era, but I don't know. I'm still stuck in it and I don't mind.
You know, as a young child, I grew up with Peter Pan. I have a secret obsession with Peter Pan. Anything J.M. Barrie, and anything, whether it's a cartoon, whether it's a play, whether it's a Broadway show, whether it's a movie, music, anything to do with Peter Pan, I have an obsession with. And maybe because of that, I just feel like, you know, we don't really necessarily have to grow up to the extent that we're expected to. And I don't know, like Peter Pan was such a influence on like the way I live and the way I live so freely and gladly and proud, and it's, you know, I don't know, like especially with concerts, like if you take away concerts, you take away, you know, it's like the song says, you take away the biggest part of me, like, you know, the biggest part of me, like personally, when it comes down to like the fun and just being free, you know, concerts and movies and music, that kind of stuff, you know, is on that list. And it's an incredible thing to be able to like go back and reminisce by just going to a 2 hour concert and listening to these people sing and cry, because it's like deeply emotional for you. And it was, especially DNA. But I remember crying for the Vegas residency for Backstreet Boys. I waited. I guess it was like when I was 24 or so, but it took that long for me to finally see the Backstreet Boys. And here I am, you know, fist bumping Howie and high fiving Nick and Brian, everybody, no problems at all, because I'm front row, got super super long arms, and to be in the pit and actually be like, I'm here, seeing these guys, people that I have just been, you know, I'm not gonna say mildly obsessed, but obsessed with, and so, you know, for so long.
Yeah.
It's breathtaking in a lot of ways, and I'm looking forward to feeling that feeling again, because it's been years since the world has gotten the opportunity to feel that way about a lot of things.
Yeah. And I think it's more emotional now too. Just, I mean, just knowing that the world can shut down at any point too. So it's, I mean, it's great that we have like the release for all the energy and that we can meet up with other people who share that same affection for whatever era it is. I mean, even if it's just a couple of years ago, I mean, like those, just music in general, movies, anything that you can connect with other people, I think is great.
And that's why it's important to do this show, is to bring you guys back, whether it's the 2000s, the 90s, even the other eras, 80s, 70s to 1800s. Like, if we can bring you guys back to a place, you know, like shout out to Jonas Brothers, where happiness begins. You know, we can keep this going. We can keep, you know, the nostalgia, the pop culture, everything just being, you know, refreshing to us, and it's gonna be a fun show. I truly believe that, and I am 100% confident in this show, and just giving people what they want. And that was a big part of the original, was like, you know, people wanted to see us do different things and interview certain individuals, and you know, we made that happen. And the same thing's going to go here. I mean, we already have a book scheduled, but like, it's going to be nostalgic doing this with you.
Yes, for sure. Did you want, or are you able to share any details of any of the upcoming stuff that you want people to know about?
Yeah, so I guess you know, STCC is happening this weekend, and then in 2 weeks from now, I will be heading to Dallas to the Texas Frightmare weekend, where I'll just be working as media as well. I don't think the Frack and Friends Show should be welcome there to have a booth, because it's mostly it is centered on horror aspects of, like, people from Scream and Nightmare on Elm Street and different people like that. So I'm pretty sure the Frack and Friends Show, won't be as welcomed with a booth to have, out of all this scary and horror different booths and panels and individual celebrities. I'm pretty sure it's not the best idea for that. So myself and my buddy Charlton, who we've had on the show a few times, we're going to take a trip to Dallas. We're going to be seeing some of the Frickin' Frackers before and during, and we'll also more than likely meet a guest that we've had on the show up there as well. So it's those are the two things that are coming up within the next 30 about 30 days. And
some great shows. Some great
nonstop great shows
that we can't name yet, but
I would like to name them, but then I know a lot of people are like, just wait until it's a week of or week and a half of, and which they are, but like I didn't ask them about naming them yet, but you guys won't be disappointed. And whether even the direction of the show, but the show's premise, the show's stance, everything is the same. It's just going to be myself, and we're going to have Leah. We're going to have different co-hosts and guest co-hosts, and maybe I'll get some celebrities to even be a guest host, and we'll bring on fans and kind of turn around on them. So it's
it'll be
really
exciting. Great. It'll kind of mix it up, and if anybody has any requests, send them to the Frack and Friends Show Instagram, Facebook.
Oh, and this is exciting too. On April 9th, Instagram is going to allow me to message back people because right now I was setting up the page a few days ago, and I was just going in and out, and they registered as me using some kind of hack. And so they said I can't send messages until the 9th now. So in 2 days, I'll be out of jail, and we'll be able to respond back to certain individuals who have contacted me. And so that's really exciting.
Yeah. So it's going to be fun.
It is.
I'm excited for everyone that'll be on the show. And I wish we could just share the list now because it's so exciting, but everyone will just have to wait.
It really is tempting. But as they come and as they're announced, it'll be, everyone will be very pleased. And also going to be decorating the backgrounds, different things soon enough. And shout out to Cindy. She was really, really amazing to send this 90s Con watch that only the VIP people could get. I was really bummed out about that. And I even offered to buy it before they put it on sale like last week. But Cindy was really, really cool to send that to me. And it's really just gotten some 90s vibes to it, like for real.
Yeah, that's great. I love those ones. I wish I would have got one.
Me too, because I was really upset because I had messaged the 90s Con organization. They said, no, we can't sell it to you. And then I had mentioned it on a show or something, and on a live we had done previously, and Cindy was like, oh, I got one. And so I messaged her. I was like, hey, how much for it? And she was really polite just to send it. And then we have Mr. Joey Fatone's picture with his signature and autograph, wishing us the best of luck. And amazing. And then we have the Frack bobblehead and credentials, so
yeah,
a lot of cool
and there'll
things
be a lot more.
Yeah, I should be able to add another badge this weekend to this.
You'll be having them hanging all down the whole row.
I know. We're just gonna put it like medals. It's like
you need like one of those hooks.
Trophy room.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm definitely going to add, which is what I needed to do today, but I didn't have any hooks, so I'm definitely gonna add some of those. Yeah. But guys, this is episode 1 of the Frack and Friends Show. We appreciate the love and support you guys have given us, and just the encouragement to kind of just keep this going. And it's incredible the amount of people who have like reached out to me and just encouraged me, and kind of even celebrities themselves are like, just impressed with everything. And so like this is it. This is episode 1, and it's I don't have a slogan or ending note, ending message yet, but yeah, this is it. But hopefully next episode I'll have something. But so I'm gonna leave it here. Thank you so much, Leah, for joining me.
Yeah,
And it
thank
was